What if I told you there's a health condition that affects millions and millions of people, but most of them have absolutely no idea they're living with it? Well, today, we're going on an investigation into a silent mystery happening inside our bodies.
Let me just throw a number at you. 35.5 million. That's the estimated number of adults in the United States with chronic kidney disease. To put that in perspective, that's more than 1 out of every 7 adults. But here's the real kicker. Get this. Only about 10% of people who have it are actually aware of it. That means millions of people are just walking around completely in the dark about their own health. So why is that? Well, the reason is simple, but it's also what makes it so dangerous. It's often called a silent killer because, you usually don't feel a thing. The symptoms tend to show up really late in the game, only after the damage is already pretty severe. But what if there are clues? Subtle hints that your body is sending out, things we might be overlooking. Well, in this explainer, we're going to become detectives. We're going to learn how to spot these signs.
All right, let's open the case file. Our investigation starts with the most direct piece of evidence your body can give you. Clues right there in your urine. Okay, so clue number 1 to look for is urine that's really foamy or bubbly and stays that way. I'm not talking about the few bubbles that just disappear in a second. This is something totally different. This quote from Dr. Sibel Gossain really paints the perfect picture. Think about the foamy head on a beer. It's white, it kind of lingers, and you might even have to flush a couple of times to get it all to go away. That's what we're talking about.
So what's actually happening here? Well, this foam is caused by something called proteinuria. See, healthy kidneys are supposed to keep all the good stuff, like protein, in your blood. But when their tiny filters get damaged, protein can leak out into your urine, and that's what creates all that foam. It's a classic early warning sign. All right, the next clue can be a little more alarming for sure, but it is so important to be aware of it, and that's finding blood in your urine. It's the same idea as with the protein. Your kidney's job is to act like a superfine filter, keeping blood cells in your body where they belong. If blood cells start sneaking through, it's a huge red flag that the filter is compromised. Now, it's really important to say this could also be a sign of other things, like kidney stones or an infection. That's exactly why you've got to get it checked out by a doctor. Okay, the clues aren't just in the toilet. The plot thickens, because they can actually start appearing all over your body. Clue number 3 is swelling. The fancy medical term is edema, but really it's a super common sign that your body is having a hard time managing its fluids. So, where are you supposed to look for this? Well, the most common spots, by far, are your ankles and your feet. Another really key place is a sort of stubborn puffiness around your eyes, especially right when you wake up in the morning. And here's the why behind it, which is fascinating. When your kidneys aren't working at 100%, they can't get rid of extra sodium, salt, very well. And wherever sodium goes, water follows. So that salt makes you hold on to extra fluid, which then builds up in your tissues, and boom, you get that visible swelling. Now, our fourth clue is one that is so easy to just dismiss. You might blame it on dry weather or a new soap, and that's really dry and itchy skin. But listen, this is not just your average case of dry skin. When kidneys start to fail, they lose the ability to keep the right balance of minerals and nutrients in your blood. Waste products start to build up, and high levels of minerals like phosphorus can cause this severe, relentless itching. It's a sign of a much deeper problem. So, we've got clues in the urine, we've got clues on the body. Now, let's put it all together. It's time to connect the dots and finally solve this mystery of how all these seemingly random signs point right back to the kidneys. Let's tackle what I'm calling the case of constant fatigue. And I don't mean just feeling a little sleepy. I'm talking about a deep, bone-deep exhaustion. You have trouble concentrating, you feel weak, maybe you don't even have an appetite. Does any of that sound familiar? Okay, so here's the big reveal. That exhaustion could be directly linked to a chain reaction that starts in your kidneys. See, healthy kidneys make a crucial hormone called erythropoietin, or EPO for short, which basically tells your body to make red blood cells. When your kidneys slow down, they make less EPO. Less EPO means fewer red blood cells carrying oxygen around your body, and the result is anemia. That's why you feel so incredibly drained. And there's another culprit at play here, a condition called uremia. This is what happens when all that waste and toxins build up in your blood to severe levels. And this causes some really weird symptoms like nausea, a sudden dislike for foods like meat, and even a strange metallic taste in your mouth, or what some people call ammonia breath.
Okay, so we've identified the clues, we've explained the science, we've solved the mystery. Now we get to the single most important part. What do you do with all this information?
First things first, it's crucial to know if you're in a high-risk group. The two biggest risk factors, hands down, are diabetes and high blood pressure. They're the leading causes of kidney disease. After that, having a family history of kidney failure, being over 60, and obesity also seriously increase your risk. But here's the really good news. Finding out how your kidneys are doing is incredibly simple. It all comes down to two basic tests. First is a blood test called the eGFR, which just estimates how well your kidneys are filtering. And the second is a simple urine test, the UACR, which checks for that key protein, albumin, that we talked about causing all that foam. Easy.
So from foamy urine and swollen ankles, all the way to that deep, unexplained fatigue, we've uncovered the silent clues your body might be sending you. These aren't just random symptoms. They're pieces of a puzzle. They're potential clues pointing directly to the health of your kidneys. So after all this, the question isn't really if your body is talking. The real question is, are you ready to listen?